Welcome everyone to this amazing solstice. It's going to be a fantastic day. I can feel the energy already.
I now call in the allies of nature, the ancestors, and all of the gods and goddesses to join us here at this time of the longest night and to celebrate with us the return of the light. Feel yourself right back in this room, fully engaged and ready for a great, inspiring day, leading us into the next phases of our lives.
Enlightenment is inviting the lightness back in, the light and the lightness. And with light comes lightness, right? You know, all know the joke about angels. How can angels fly? They take themselves lightly. And I have ridden that joke and that perspective for my whole life, because what has always helped me is to surround myself, connect myself to point with anything that makes my light harder, my heart lighter, and my life lighter, life easier, more fun. So for instance, instead of anger, fear, sadness, guilt, betrayal, maybe calling those energies, vibrations. Like I'm feeling a heavy energy right now, or a dense energy. Or anger, I'm feeling an excited energy, or an intense energy. So choosing more neutral language, descriptive language, it's still accurate, but it's taking the whole story out of. So if I felt a heavy energy right now, it's a little different than if I say I'm feeling my age-old archetypal 10,000 lifetime betrayal issue right now. Right? It's a little more challenging to shift an ancient betrayal issue, especially with all the wonderful stories we have around it, right? If you visit yourself, if you experience yourself in enough other lifetimes, you know, raise your hand if you've discovered this yourself. You discover that we've played both. She raised her hand without me even saying anything. Thank you. That's great. Are you the psychic? But yes, I've discovered that I have played both sides of every issue, every polarity, every opposite that exists. And it was, in fact, the first time was right here when I met Medicine Cloud. I met him in Dry Creek. And the first thing he did was he told me to take off all my clothes. And I'm like, But I had known him in spirit for 12 years back in Boston, so I said, okay. And he covered my body with about 3 inches of wet red clay. And he said, I'll be back in a minute. Now, yeah. It's like the Ascended Masters, like there will be peace on earth soon, right? I'll be back soon. Well, he meant in his world 5 hours later. So I baked there with covered in red clay for about 5 hours in a 95-degree summer heat. And the first thing that came up the first few hours was everyone I had killed. I re-experienced killing all these people and being killed, betraying all these people and being betrayed, dying, and everything under the sun. But thank God, finally that lifted. And then the second half, the second 2 hours, was wonderful, because it was all the times that I had made-up sex with all these people. This is all the time that I had reunion and resolution with all these people, right? And we made up for all those hard times. So the second part was very enjoyable. But ever since that experience, I've never been able to look at just one side of anything. And when you start playing from the center, which, I mean, after all, we're here in a unity church, and seeing the unity, the connection, the oneness between all things.
It is the beginning, is it not?
It is. Welcome, Theo.
There is an asking.
Many. How do we cultivate that state of being, Theo?
By releasing beliefs that limit you. Beliefs that are untrue about who you are, that you've adopted from others or a circumstance that occurred, that can be changed. History cannot be changed. Events will not change, but your perception changes. So the integration, soul integration, is recognizing those beliefs, where they've come from, and soothing and comforting and reframing that part of self that birthed that belief or adopted it, to come forward into the present, to realize the divine essence that you are.
Talking about soul family, Theo, and how do we know when we've connected with soul family in this lifetime?
Soul groups that you've chosen to come in, or you're on the same vibrational frequency. If you have a reaction to somebody, whether it's positive or negative, you can know that you've known them. They're part of your soul family. Many people think that when soul and spirit is working in and through you, that you have no control. But you do, and you must. This is your life, isn't it? You came, you were courageous. You entered a physical body and a physical life. If the spirit that is coming to you and wanting to work with you does not honor your time frame to work with them, then tell them they're not welcome.
So I'd say the most common question I get is, can I get everything that I want in life? And how come I don't have it yet? And if I can't dodge the question, or distract, or change the subject, or ask them a question back, right? I'll say, well, it depends on which you you're talking about. And what I suggest to them with all my heart is, I suggest that they get in touch with the real you, the real self, and then see if you're getting what you really want or not.
That was really good.
I would say for me, the questions that are most consistent are probably, depending on the time we're in, it does change a bit. People do consistently ask about relationship and soulmates and such, but also about healthy boundaries. When are we allowed to set, a line? When are we allowed to say no to things? Because there's so many things in this world that say you're not allowed this and you're not allowed. If you don't know how to check in, then you're never making the right answer anyway. Well, have a healthy relationship with God and your spirit and yourself, and then your ability to know what's right for you and not right for you will start to emerge more obviously.
It doesn't have to be harsh to hold a boundary, but we thought we had to get all rubbed up and angry. It doesn't have to be that way. We just can tell the truth. That's the easiest way to hold boundary.
A big lesson, and that's the word responsibility. And by that I mean spiritual responsibility, meaning that we can't just say the words, isn't it neat that we're all one? And we put in bumper stickers on our car and that's really cute. But to really get it, that you haven't heard one speaker that isn't a part of you. There's not one spiritual teacher, not Buddha, not Saint, Teresa or Mother Teresa or whomever, or Jesus. There's no being that's ever existed that wasn't a part of us, reflecting a part of us. There's no I'm over here and you're over there. There's just really the I am. And parts of me are awake more than others, seemingly, but they're still parts of me. And it's very challenging to convey that, which is why I've sort of done it tempered and in pieces. To just come out and blatantly say it can be intimidating to some people. Well, wait a minute, there's people I don't like and I'm not one with them. Now they've become another more conflicted piece of you that's going to have to manifest as a pain in the butt. Because you're going, I don't like those kinds of people. Oh, more of them. You know, I can't not be me. The whole universe is me. And so, in a word, you could say it's responsibility, but it's also oneness. The responsibility to know that we're all connected, not just in beautiful sentiment like a poetic sentence, that it's actually true. We're all connected. And all that I see is a part of me, and it mirrors to myself. My heights and depths, my lefts and rights and ups and downs. There's no such thing as anything else. It's even the idea of ascension. And again, we think it's a lottery kind of a thing. And sometimes it does look like that. I get that. But even those who ascend are still part of the consciousness and helping everyone else. There's not like a thing you go to and then you're like, whew, done with that. You know, sucks to be you to the human race, you know. You know, hey, you know, that's not what mastery is about. If a master does get it and wake up, and they're still on the other side waiting for everyone else. Because even the other side's not a complete thing. You know, on the other side it's higher dimensionality, but it's still part of this evolution that we're in. It's a fifth dimensional part of this, but it's still part of dimensionality. In God, there is no dementia. You know? So, you know, we're still in dimensionality. It's dementiality. And we're still playing the game and waking up and, you know, oh, this person's Saint Germain and this person and that person. You know, that's beings of higher consciousness and dimensionality, they understand that. They're not thinking, wow, I made it, you didn't. Humans think that way because humans come from limited consciousness. Keith spoke about that and Theo spoke about that. Limiting consciousness. The bottom line is, does it resonate with love and self-worth? And then you know if something's right for you. And it's an amazing thing because it like parts the Red Sea. When you say, what is right for me? What is my consciousness about? For me, love and self-worth. And you go, what diets? And the sea parts. There are some things that aren't going to work for you. And what happened is I decided what foods I'm going to eat based on my center. Always come from your center. And your center is what? I don't know. There you go. Problem again. The I don't know will lead to all kinds of things that Buddha called pain due to ignorance. Ignorance meaning I have forgotten who I am. Because we're smarter than we think. We have a knowing that's beyond human intellectual linear knowing. So we have to realize, I already know that there's a true divine self in me. And every time I date someone that doesn't resonate with love and self-worth, I'm conflicted. I can blame them, but I'm actually saying yes to dating them. What am I doing? I'm in conflict. Any incongruence those are my lessons. So, from thinking something to learning to channel it, more from an inspiration, then shifting from channeling it to becoming it, and then from becoming it to being it. And then we've arrived. Every day asking myself, how are you walking it? How are you living this? Have you left the day in any way, shape, or form with dropping inspiration into somebody's lap? Making anyone expand their consciousness? Because if we're all one, at the end of each day, did you make a difference in anyone's life today? Remember, they're you. So if you didn't make a change in their life for the better, there's a part of you that didn't ascend today. Don't talk to me about ascension one day. Today. Because that's what's going to make a difference in your life, your growth, your ascension process. How much are you living it? How much are you being today? Have you in any way brought the presence of God? Not talked about the presence of God. Have you been the presence of God today on earth? If so, then you've accomplished something. And in that moment, you ascended. If God is thought to be an ascended level of consciousness, and you act like God today, guys, then you ascended today by being here, the festival, and during this talk. There's something in us that was looking for something in us that's ready to grow to a higher level. And whether you heard one sentence in one talk or one line in a song or just the vibrations and frequencies in a sound during the musicians' performances, grab it, breathe it in and give thanks for it, because when you do that, you become it.